Good morning, I'm Angelo Castro III.
I'm Angela and we are the Castros.
Nako, napaka-exciting nitong araw.
Kahapon, no?
Yan, na-excite ako kahapon, di ba?
Daming mga pangyayari.
Pero wala pa, you cannot bring out your popcorn yet because magsisimula yun.
Luto muna kayo ng popcorn.
Pag nagsimula na ang trial, doon ang labasan ng popcorn.
Mamaya himahimayin natin yung issue na yun. Of course, what we are talking about right now is the impeachment complaint filed in the House of Congress, and it was
She was impeached in Congress.
Yes.
Now the trial begins sa upper house, which is the Senate.
Yesterday, the complaint was sent to the Senate, pero yun nga ang pinag-uusapan dito, but hindi daw tinakel, no, before the Senate
gabi na ata, late na ata
yesterday.
dumating kasi yung complaint. Anyway, we'll talk about this more later. We're serving you. And more, of course. We're serving you today's headlines.
All that before your second cup of coffee. This is Brunch.
The House of Representatives impeached Vice President Sara Duterte on Wednesday, marking the first impeachment case against a sitting vice president. Here's the report.
On the last day of session, the House of Representatives secured enough votes to impeach Vice President Sara Duterte. A total of 215 lawmakers signed the complaint. This is more than the minimum one-third of the House of Representatives required by the Constitution.
There is a motion to direct the Secretary General to immediately endorse to the Senate the impeachment complaint, having been filed by more than one-third of the membership of the House, or a total of 215 members. Is there any objection? The Chair hears none. The motion is approved.
The presidential son himself, House Senior Deputy Majority Leader Sandro Marcos, was earlier reported to have been first to sign the complaint. Among the signatories are Representatives Sandro Marcos, Don Gonzales, Manix Dalipe, J.J. Romualdo, and J. Suarez. The last signatory belonged to Speaker Martin Romualdez. The impeachment complaint against Duterte revolves around 6 major allegations, including conspiracy to assassinate President Bongbong Marcos, Liza Araneta Marcos, and Speaker Romualdez. Malversation of 612.5 million pesos in confidential funds, bribery and corruption within the Department of Education, unexplained wealth and failure to disclose assets, involvement in extrajudicial killings, particularly those linked to the Davao Death Squad, and engagement in destabilization, insurrection, and public disorder activities. Congressman Lawrence Defensor, one of the 11 prosecutors selected for the impeachment trial, expressed confidence that they have enough evidence to secure a guilty verdict for Duterte.
Matatag ang ebidensya, and ang ebidensya mismo nanggaling sa respondent o sa kinasuhan. These are very grave and serious offenses against not only the President, but it's a violation of the Constitution. So ilalatag po yan ng prosecution team, and I'm confident that we have a strong case for impeachment.
Meanwhile, the first 3 impeachment complaints filed in December were archived. House Secretary General Reginald Velasquez said the lawmakers who endorsed the first 3 are considered the complainants of the 4th. For News 5, I'm Marian Enriquez. We are One News.
Meanwhile, House Speaker Martin Romualdez assured Filipinos that they have fought the forces of darkness and evil. In his closing speech before Congress adjourned on Wednesday, Romualdez noted that no ambition nor powerful person is above the Constitution and the law. According to the House leader, they did not look away from abuses that people are complaining about, and instead faced the truth no matter how difficult.
Isinulong natin ang interes ng sambayanan, lumaban sa mga puwersa ng kadiliman, hindi umatras sa kampon ng kasamaan. Ours is a Congress that does not shy away from its responsibility to our people. We are not here to protect the powerful. We are here to serve the people.
Yun.
Alam mo,
so
yes.
after 2 months since the first impeachment complaint was filed by the group where former Senator Laila de Lima was a spokesperson, di ba? Tapos there's another, the second, the third, and ngayon, fourth complaint, finally nagkaroon na nga ng impeachment complaint daan sa
Let's
House
dive
of
deeper into
Representatives.
yung stories and context behind this, kasi we were talking about Why it took so long? I mean, kasi they gathered 215 signatures.
Yeah.
And alam naman natin, it's not that easy to convince 215 congressmen. So the mere fact that you convinced 215 congressmen, that means it's been a long time na tong
napag-uusapan.
Pero if you will check back all our file videos and interviews with several congressmen and also in other shows, sasabihin nila hindi nila pinag-uusapan.
Tsaka sasabihin na mukhang malabo,
No.
mukhang walang numero. Di ba? Yung ibang
Okay
mga
yun,
grupo.
kasi mali mo hindi sila nag-uusap, pero sasabihin nila wala silang pinag-uusapan, pero 215 signatures, madami nito. So ngayon mapapatanong ka, ano nangyari if this was being planned long time ago, bakit ngayon nang ginawa? Di ba? Para may ano yung sinabi mo sa akin kahapon, bakit siguro ngayon itong ginawa? Siguro they were trying to hold it back kasi baka they could mend fences with Sara, sabi mo.
That I don't know, pero ewan ko kasi
sabi mo ganun, parang
kasi maraming mga maraming pupwedeng nangyari before this happened. So one of which is siguro ito yung pinaka-recent yung pagsasabi dun sa interview ni Vice President Sara Duterte na
that's what I was saying. They were holding it back.
Diba?
Biglang
She's planning to, she's really thinking of running in the 2028 election. And we all know elections, no? And we all know naman kapag na-impeach ka, you're barred na from running.
Exactly what you actually amplifying your point na siguro they thought things could be better with them. So, teka lang, let's hold this impeachment back. Baka naman she might join our agendas and then, di ba, biglang tama ka. Nag-declare na tatakbo ako
Teka, ito na.
Sa lahat ng masamang ginawa nila kay VP Sara, syempre alam nila kung manalo to si VP Sara, babalikan ni VP mga to. So no, we have to get her out.
Pero yun nga di ba? Until yesterday, kapag nagkakaroon tayo ng mga reports and interviews regarding this, ang sinasabi ng mga tao, ng mga nasa Congress, hindi namin alam or wala nang oras to or sometimes hindi na nga napag-usapan, naging, kumbaga, pwede nating sabihin, for the lack of a better term, naging cold case siya Tapos bigla nagkaroon ng ibang narrative which is yung usapin ng budget. Diba? Tapos all of a sudden, ito, yesterday, nagulantang ang mga tao at even the other Duterte supporters are saying na blindside ata sila dito sa nangyari. Hindi nila nakita that this is going to happen.
Ang pwede kasi isang senaryo din dito, naghintay sila last minute para alam nila na pag medyo imposible na itry sa Senate to, kasi sa kakulangan ng oras, yung liability ng backlash ng public clamor hindi mapupunta sa Congress pinadala namin So, 'di ba? So that way wala silang liability. The blame falls on the Senate ngayon.
Exactly. And ang isa pang plot twist here is nakita natin, di ba, they were talking about sige, ang ginamit dito sa impeachment complaint na to na umusad dito sa Kongreso ay yung fourth complaint. Di ba? Ang sinasabi nila, this was filed by several academe and non-government officials na hindi naman daw nila kilala yung personalities. No? This is according to Representative Janet Garin. Pero you will see also yung mga signature doon. Ang number one na nakasign doon ay si Representative Sandro Marcos na we all know naman siya ay anak ng presidente. So, yun yung plot twist doon kasi nakikita natin na for the longest time, and there was even a text na nag-leak, di ba? Sinasabi ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos na impeaching Sara is not important, it's not our priority. So, sabi nga nila, dalawa lang yan. It's either may sinasabi siyang ganito pero iba yung ginagawa. Di ba? Sinasabi ng bibig, iba yung ginagawa ng kamay. Or sabi nila, ginagampanan lamang daw ni Representative Sandro Marcos ang kanyang constitutional duty, diba? And showing people that there's really a separation of power. That we don't know.
Galing, madam. No. I'm joking around. Pero I'm just looking at I saw the impeachment complaints, yung mga articles of impeachment. Isa doon ang assassination attempt against VP Sara and destabilization. Those two ones initially was being tackled by the NBI. May resolution na yan pero for some reason parang hindi umusad yung pagbibigay sa DOJ or hindi natin alam ano decision ng DOJ to file it. Sabi ko, bakit hindi delay ito? Meron na silang they gathered. What evidence do they need to gather? The only evidence you need to gather is the actual statement that was said on the video. Yung pala, it's included in the impeachment complaint. So pag finalin na lang ito, baka redundant. Pero if you look at it, that's criminal liability. So if she is tried in the which we know naman is a political court, it's a Senate,
Quasi-judicial body.
Ang tanong dito is, if she is convicted of these impeachment crimes, yung complaints, yung dalawang criminal liability yan, will it translate into another hearing, criminal complaint? Automatic, di ba? Yan ang titignan natin. Kasi assassination ang being charged sa kanya. Tsaka the other ones, destabilization, mabigat yung dalawang yan.
Public disorder pa.
Graft and corruption.
Yun. Well, anyway, so ngayon, punta tayo sa kabila. Di ba? Kasi sabi nila, ang bola ngayon ay nasa
Senate.
Sa Senado na. And like what we discussed earlier kanina before we started the show, hindi man lang nagsabi ang Senate, 'di ba, na na-receive na namin. Although alam naman, it's a public knowledge na na-receive na ng Senate yung impeachment complaint from the House of Representatives, pero wala man lang ang tawag dito, report or statement from them, no, even from the Senate President regarding this. So a lot of people are asking, what's going to happen?
Because
diba?
if the Senate officially receives this complaint, if they received it yesterday, they're going to have to convene into an impeachment court kahit wala na silang,
adjourn na sila,
kahit
may
adjourn,
break.
and it will take at least, on the average for impeachment trial, 4 months. At siguro alam nilang walang numero, and siguro the upper leaders of the Senate, they of course, there's talk na they want to ensure a conviction, and this Senate cannot give that conviction. So siguro the leaders who are for the conviction are saying, wait, let's just wait for the next election, because if we tackle it now and accept it, we have to try it. Hindi pwedeng upuan natin. Kung inupuan natin, baka mag-lapse.
Yes. And then you have to remember also, maraming mga re-electionists ngayon dyan sa sa Senate. Kaya sinasabi nila, medyo walking on eggshells sila. 'Di ba? Kung gagawin ko to, ilang boto ba mawawala sa akin? On the other side, kung gawin ko to, ilang boto yung magagawa sa atin. Pero yun nga, according to Senator Coco Pimentel, kahit na-adjourn sila, kahit break sila ngayon sa June 2 pabalik nila, ay maaari silang mag-convene, no? I-waive yung kanilang rule, mag-convene sila, like what you said kanina, para nga ma-discuss itong what you call this, itong impeachment trial na to. At sinasabi nga ni Senator Bato de la Rosa, madaya, kasi iba makakapag-campaign na sila, hindi, at kailangan nila gawin
Unahin niyo muna trabaho kayo.
trabaho nila.
Pero in similar news, we have Vice President Sara Duterte, who has opted not to comment on the impeachment complaint, which was approved by the House of Representatives. In an exclusive interview with News 5 reporter Bril Montalvo, Duterte said she wanted to review the official statement before reacting.
Mahirap mag-react kung hindi natin nababasa kung ano yung official statement nila. Baka masobrahan o magkulang yung reaction. So kailangan natin antayin.
Her brothers, Representative Paulo Duterte and Davao City Mayor Baste Duterte, quickly defended the Vice President. Representative Duterte condemned the impeachment, calling it baseless and politically motivated. Davao City Mayor Baste Duterte, meanwhile, posted a cryptic message on Threads. He said, "Cornered animals become aggressive," and tagged House Speaker Martin Romualdez and President Bongbong Marcos.
Well, it is expected from their camp na magkaroon ng mga iba't ibang reaction regarding this.
But how I wish, kasi nakita ko yung statement ni Baste and ni Kong Pulo, ni Mayor Baste. Threats, these are cryptic threats. Sana we don't resort to cryptic threats, diba? We are statesmen. So if you want, talk about it legally from that perspective. Pero cornered animals become aggressive. Plus din kay Congressman Pulong naman, parang sinasabi niya na mali ang ginawa niya, tingnan niyo ano mangyayari sa inyo. Parang why is it resorting to this, di ba? Nagiging very personal ang attacks on both camps, yung Duterte and Marcos camp.
But importante dito, malaman natin ano yung magiging official statement. Kasi as of now, wala pang ang official statement, kundi yung phone call lang with our correspondent.
Well, we have two official statements from the Duterte camp, which is from Pulong and Baste. We have to wait na lang from VP Sara. Or, I want to hear also kung anong statement ni FPRRD. Siyempre, he said he will stand as a defense lawyer.
Isa pa yan sa mga sinasabi nila. And of course, yung iba pang mga allies ni Vice President Sara Duterte have already spoken up. We have Attorney Sal Panelo,
Expected.
Attorney Harry Roque, 'di ba? Yan yung mga
Ako, Harry
nagsabi
Roque,
na rin sila ng
nagtatago ka,
kanilang
kami nga po yung statement.
Oo. So, yun ang aalamin natin. Pero a lot of people or some of the legal experts here are saying pwedeng gawin ni VP Sara, gawin niya yung ginawa ni Ombudsman Gutierrez, 'di ba? Nag-resign or si COMELEC chairman
To avoid-
Bautista.
To avoid being
To avoid conviction, baba ka sa pwesto, 'di ba?
Pero may maghihintay
Pero
na
after
criminal
nun,
complaint
pwede
dyan.
kang ma-chargean ng
Ma-chargean,
mga
oo.
complaints. Kasi dito kasi kapag na-convict siya, 'di ba?
Perpetually disqualified.
Oo, hindi na siya makakatakbo ng
Pero parang may nagsabi na congressman, if she resigns na tinanggap na ng Senate, parang baka there's a legal argument na you might be also disqualified from running kasi
pwede dahil
oo.
dun sa mga criminal
Kasi you
charges.
chose not to defend yourself. The Senate, kung sabi nila, there's another side that the Senate can continue to try it, but you chose not to defend yourself, but we will go on with the trial, the prosecution will go on, they can deliver a guilty verdict. You didn't defend yourself. In the court of law, pag sa courts, di ba, kung ayaw mo mag-attend ng trial, sasabihin nila, tutuloy na prosecution to.
Oo.
Guilty ka.
Well, going back dun sa Senate, sa usapin ng Senate, we will see kung talaga aantayin ba nila ang election or after the election, before the election
Before
or
the
after
election.
the election.
Yeah.
Dahil para ma-acquit, 'di ba, si Vice President Sara Duterte dito sa magiging impeachment, ay kakailanganin lang niya ng 8 na pirma. So doon, for sure, meron na siyang Senator Bato de la Rosa, meron na siyang Bongo, meron na siyang
You need
Senator Robin
16 to
Padilla.
kin-
Pero kung gusto mo i-convict, kailangan mo ng 15.
16.
15
Kasi
yan
23.
kasi 23 na lang sila
Anyway,
ngayon. So, well, tingnan natin, 'di ba, kung sa next election manalo ang mga kaalyansa ng PBBM administration, may iba yung face ng Senate, and we'll see about that. Abangan nga ang susunod na kabanata.
Okay.
Oo. Coming up, the impeachment complaint against Vice President Sara Duterte has now been transmitted to the Senate. Ano na kaya ang susunod na mangyayari?
Nako, other controversial news, the MMDA is planning to remove the EDSA busway to provide more space for cars. Are you in favor of this or not?
Oo. Pwede yung mga mga brunchies natin sa social media,
Kayo,
sa
guys.
Facebook and YouTube. Pabor ba kayo dito sa nangyayari? Una, dun sa impeachment complaint against VP Sara, and then this one, no?
Isa
gagawin
muna,
sa busway?
sa gap 1, pabor sa impeachment or hindi, mamaya na yung busway para
Sige,
hindi sila
sige.
malito.
Alright, we'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. still watching Brunch here on One News. Ngayon po ay Thursday. Hindi muna tayo babati ng Happy Thursday. Isang magulong Thursday po.
Happy pa rin kasi
Happy
buhay tayo.
naman. Oo naman, totoo naman. But batiin ko muna itong mga nasa YouTube natin. Ang dami nila. We have, of course, VJ, Vladimir Ponce de Leon. We have Roselier Bonita.
Yes.
Reymato Suru, yan. Mayor Abad, Kuya Mayor.
Oo, si Mayor.
Oo, si Alejandro Bernardo Trajano, nanonood din siya sa atin. Mina Benales and Tita Esther Abaya. We have Ate Ice, of course, si Mother Earth. Dito naman sa YouTube, we have Ronnie0143. We have Ronald Maxtay, Tita Daisy Cancio, Tito Naldi and Kuya Jopen. And of course, si Tita Mirna ng Green Park Pasig. Yan. Yung mga nanonood. Si Summer Cabrera also is also watching. Ralph Domingo, Gary Field, Alex Fuentes, Migs Ebron. Yan po yung mga nanonood sa atin ngayon na nakikisali sa mga may init na balita.
Good lang.
Alright. Okay, the ball is now in the court of the Senate for Vice President Sara Duterte's impeachment to proceed. Here's the report.
House Secretary General Reginald Velasco personally transmitted to Senate the articles of impeachment against Vice President Sara Duterte on Wednesday.
Yes, dala na namin, including the complaint itself, the signatures of 215 congressmen who filed and endorsed this complaint. No, we also have the list of prosecutors as approved by the plenary today. Ito yung isang kopya ng complaint.
Dito sa camera, sir.
Kapal, sir, no?
Yeah, kasi marami yung annexes eh.
Senate President Chis Escudero earlier refuted claims that they were preparing for impeachment hearings. Senator Joel Villanueva also said that they were not able to meet prior to the transmittal of impeachment articles.
Walang kahit na anong special kung hindi last day of session na kailangan tapusin ang dapat tapusin.
According to Villanueva, the Senate needs to decide if they will convene as impeachment court.
Sometimes kahit wala sa agenda, with the permission of the body, etc. Diba? Kasi wala nga eh. Because at any point in time, pag may tinakil ka sa floor, diba, na wala sa agenda, you can raise a point of order anytime.
But the Senate adjourned its plenary session until June without tackling the impeachment. Senator Coco Pimentel said there is still a way to push the impeachment forward.
Sa normal course of events, mukhang sa June pa. Kasi very extraordinary yung sinasabi ko. Kasi nga, pursuant to the rules, pwedeng gawin nyo. But pursuant to the rules, pwedeng mag-waive ang rules. Especially pang 100% consent.
Duterte ally Senator Bato de la Rosa was not surprised by VP Sara's impeachment at the lower chamber, but he worries about the upcoming campaign and midterm election.
Ang daya nila, no? Gagawin kaming hostage dito para magiging judge ng impeachment court. Tapos sila, magagampanya na. Kami dito ngayon, 24 of us will be sitting as judges of the impeachment court.
Sir,
hindi kami makapagpangampanya.
Mobile journalist Amy Atienza, we are One News.
Hindi po, no,
So,
sir.
yung pinag-usapan din natin
hindi
kanina
po,
eh.
hindi po madaya na hindi ka makapagkampanya because traditionally in politics, you are judged and voted by your work performance or ang output mo. Hindi dahil sa kampanya yon. So kung nagtatrabaho naman ng maayos, I'm sure the public will take that into consideration when deciding on who to vote for. Hindi yung daya, kayo nag-campaign. That's very, I'm sorry, it's very childish. Diba? Parang work, do your constitutional mandate and the impeachment is one na transmit sa inyo. So wag na tayo umiyak, gawin na natin trabaho natin. The campaign is just a side note or additional for you to prove your agenda. Another way to prove your agenda is through your work.
Yeah.
Ganun kasimple lang yan.
But let's just put this into context, ano ba yung role ng Senado dito, 'di ba? Ngayon na nasa kanila na nga yung bola, 'di ba? Yun yung sinasabi natin. Of course, the Senate here will be the jurors or the senators rather. Sila yung magiging juror dito sa magiging impeachment trial at ang magiging presiding officer, tama ba? Ay ang kanilang Senate President and of
Supreme
course
Court.
the Supreme Court Justice natin. Before meron tayong may history tayo ng mga impeachment, 'di ba? Isa ang successful dito is yung impeachment ni Chief Justice Corona years ago na it was done in 4 months time and it's sabi nga nila it's totally different right now because ang climate ngayon is mag-e-election na eh. At that time, wala naman. Tsaka hindi naman daw ganun ka big personality, hindi ganun ka controversial itong si Chief Justice Corona. Another one, impeachment, pero hindi naman naging successful dahil na-oust na agad. Ay, ito, pinag-uusapan din natin ito. And ito si former President Joseph Estrada. Diba? And ito, so sabi nila in history, itong si Vice President Sara Duterte is the first Vice President that was impeached in
Sino?
Congress.
Vice-
President Sara
Sara
Duterte.
Duterte. Yeah.
Oo, diba? So, yan yung magiging mangyayari sa kanila dyan. So, we'll see. Ano pa ba? Diba?
Well, para sa context lang sa mga tao na to understand ano yung bakit na-impeach sa Congress tapos may trial pa. Kumbaga, pag nag-impeach ka po sa Congress, parang lumusot po sa fiskalya ang kaso mo to be raffled to the court. The court now here in the impeachment is the Senate. So, ganun po yun. Kailangan patunayan mo yung kaso mo sa hurado. So, ganun po yun. So, impeach siya. In other words, tinatanggap yung articles, may probable cause. Dali natin ngayon, pag-usapan natin kung guilty.
Doon,
So,
diba,
ganun
sa
po
Senate.
ang mangyayari.
Kasi may makikita baka ma-confuse yung ibang kababayan natin doon sa mga report, di ba? VP Sara impeached.
No, she is impeached.
She's impeached,
But she has not
this
been convicted.
hindi ito necessarily removal agad sa public office kasi meron pang trial na
Si
mangyayari
President
sa
Joseph
Senado.
Estrada was impeached, but in the Senate, hindi po natuloy yung kanyang kaso and walang conviction nakuha or acquittal. It's because nag-walk out po ang mga senador from the trial itself and naging EDSA 2. So he was
parang ousted na siya.
never, bakit tatanungin ng iba, bakit siya nawalan ng rights sa political ng rights for a while na kailangan pabigyan ng absolute pardon ng President GMA. It's because he was convicted sa Sandigan Bayan of several cases. Doon po pumasok ang yung pagbibigay ng pardon ni Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo. But hindi dahil sa impeachment because he was never convicted sa impeachment court.
So he was given by former President Gloria Arroyo ng absolute pardon. Kaya he was able to run pa di ba? President, natalo siya, tapos mayor.
Actually, yung pagtakbo niya sa president, muntik na manalo. Kung walang Pinoy at that time, he was second. So, era po the won kung walang Pinoy. So, interesting developments yan. But meanwhile, the House of Representatives has named 11 lawmakers who will serve as prosecutors in the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte. They will defend the House decision to impeach Duterte before the Senate. The 11 are Batangas 2nd District Representative Jervil Luistro, Antipolo 2nd District Representative Romeo Acop, One Rider Representative Rog Gutierrez, Manila 3rd District Representative Joel Chua, Ako Bicol Representative Jill Bungalon, General Santos Representative Loreto Atcharon, House Minority Leader, and 4 Peace Representative Marcelino Libanan, Oriental Mindoro 1st District Representative Arnan Panaligan, San Juan Representative Isabel Zamora, Iloilo 3rd District Representative Lawrence Defensor, Bukidnon 2nd District Representative Jonathan Keith Flores.
Now, what's the impact of this impeachment on our political climate? Now, to discuss this, we have Attorney Michael Yusinko, Senior Research Fellow at the Ateneo Policy Center, joining us via Zoom. Good morning,
Good morning, Attorney.
and thanks for joining us again.
Good morning, Angelo and Angela. At good morning sa lahat ng
Attorney,
nanonood.
thank you for joining us again. It's interesting. Ay, nandun pa rin yung mask mo sa Star Wars.
Yes.
Pero Attorney, let's get right to it. I mean, we were talking with Angela a while ago, 215 votes sa House to impeach. Now, was this something we expected given yung proclamation ng mga congressmen na hindi nila pinag-uusapan? Pero alam natin, Attorney, if you have 215 votes, that means matagal na kayo nag-uusap.
Kasi to add to that, Attorney, from mahihirapan na makakuha ng signature
to
215.
So ano po take mo, Attorney?
Thoughts on that?
So let me begin with this very clear statement that we can never ever trust dynastic politicians on their word, no? So yung mga sinasabi nila lagi, we should take with a bag of salt, not just a grain of salt.
Bag of salt.
ha?
So yung mga sinasabi nila na hindi nila pinag-uusapan, well, wala na yun, ano? Because now we know na obviously pinag-uusapan nila because they moved so fast, no?
Yes.
Even disregarding their own rules just to be able to act swiftly, quote unquote. So, yun na muna. That's my thought on this. We, the people, can never ever trust dynastic politicians on their word. They will always lie if it will serve their self-interest.
Right. But what do you think of this, attorney? Kasi last year, we've seen yung mga leaked messages saying na the president himself saying na impeaching Sara Duterte is not our priority, it's not important, etc. And then right now, seeing the whole scenario about the impeachment complaint from the House of Representatives, we've seen yung unang-unang nag-endorse dun sa listahan is the son of our president, which is Congressman Sandro Marcos. So, paano ba namin ito dapat tanggapin? Ano ba yung dapat natin intindihin dito sa nangyayari na ito?
So, Angela, obviously there was an attempt to paint a picture na they were respecting the separation of powers, no, between the executive and the legislative branch, particularly with this issue on the impeachment, no? Kaya they made it appear na yung presidente is against it while yung legislative, particularly yung House, were pushing for it, di ba? So, yan yung clearly they were trying to portray that kind of perception or try to elicit that perception sa atin sa publiko. But that has unraveled kasi nga sabi mo nga, as it turns out, yung anak pala ng Pangulo tsaka yung pinsan niya were already working towards filing that complaint, that impeachment complaint, no? Even na while yung presidente sinasabi niya na huwag niyo na ituloy yan, sayang lang oras, walang magbe-benefit na Pilipino dyan. So again, I go back to my point na we can really never trust dynastic politicians because it's so easy for them to lie for their own self-interest.
Pero dito, attorney, I'd like to get your opinion on this. No? Kasi there are two schools of thought here, two theories as to why the lower house waited for the last minute despite having all the complaints ready sa poder nila before they chose to transmit it to the Senate. Na ang unang sinasabi nila, it could be that they were working in unison with the Senate na i-delay because alam nila walang numero sa Senado and therefore pag tinanggap ng Senate, they will defer it to June with the next batch of senators that wala nang facing election, baka maging friendlier ang votes to impeach. Or yung pangalawa, Congress wanted to absolve themselves of any backlash, if any, at ilalagay nila sa mga senador at parang bahala kayo dyan. So which do you think was a more plausible scenario?
Alam mo, hirap nung tanong mo, Angelo, no? Kasi it actually, considering the facts, no, parang it doesn't make sense kasi na they will disregard their own rules, no, for all of those conditions that you said, no? Kasi holding on to the impeachment complaints for that long period of time is against their rules, eh.
Yeah.
So, kumbaga, if they really wanted to para make things harder for the Senate, para sila na bahala, di ba? Senado na yung talagang humarap sa publiko. Then, the more logical thing is to have acted on it quickly, di ba?
Yeah.
Para diretso na kagad sa Senado and the Senate would have been burdened by the decision kung tutuloy ba nila o hindi despite yung calendar nila.
Yeah.
So, it doesn't fit kung ano talaga yung gusto nung mga members of the House, particularly yung leadership of the House.
Yes.
So parang ang matingkad lang sa akin sa pananaw ko, Angelo and Angela, is that it seems that they were willing to disregard even their own rules to play around with political considerations.
Just in relation to that, attorney, if you saw the articles of impeachment, parang may dalawa akong nakitang, criminal in nature in terms of assassination attempt, tapos destabilization. No? I'd like to ask you about that because meron din naman sa DOJ nito na pinag-uusapan na all of a sudden na-defer na tagalan. So ang question is, do you think dinifer nila ito to give way from the start? Alam nilang may impeachment. And what happens if she is convicted of part of it, which is assassination, destabilization, convicted in this impeachment court? Will it then automatically baka maging criminal case din ito?
I don't know if it's going to be automatic. No? Certainly, may discretion pa rin yung DOJ to pursue or not, whatever happens to the impeachment. Of course, preferably they should pursue it kasi this is a criminal act. No, we're talking about a crime here.
Yes.
So, regardless of what happens in the impeachment, the DOJ should be pursuing it. So,
Right.
I think they defer. I don't recall it being deferred. I think ang nangyayari is kulang sila ng ebidensya pa. No, nangangalap pa sila ng ebidensya to prove their case. No, to prove na meron talagang beyond reasonable doubt na ebidensya sila mga kalap. So that's also part of the complaint itself actually, raises some doubts regarding yung mga motivations behind the complaint. And also of the fact na I have serious concerns about it being verified, no?
Yes.
Kasi according to the rules, according to the House rules, each of the 215 members should have faced the SecGen and swore by the veracity of the complaint. No? Kanina pinapakita nyo sa news gaano kakapal yung complaint. And so, did those 215 members of the House, did they face the SecGen harap-harapan,
read all the pages,
and swore by that thick of a complaint
all in one day, attorney.
All in one day and say na nabasa namin to, nakita namin yung mga dokumento at lahat ito ay totoo and we stand by it. Kasi parang lumalabas parang yung signature page lang yung umabot sa kanila eh.
Right.
And they just signed eh. That is not the verification process. That is prescribed in their very own rules.
Right. But attorney, what do you think is the Senate doing here right now? Kasi yesterday, they were able to receive the articles of impeachment from the House of Representatives, pero walang mention eh, 'di ba? When they convened, when they adjourned rather yesterday, wala kahit man lang nagsabi na nag-release ng statement or nagtackle na okay, meron na kaming na-receive na namin itong impeachment complaint na to mula sa House of Representatives. Ano ba sa tingin mo yung ginagawa nila dito, lalo na meron ba tong kinalaman sa upcoming midterm elections, kaya medyo parang very careful sila at calculated yung kanilang mga ginagawa ngayon?
Oh, very much so, Angela. No? Ang minds kasi ng mga senators natin, especially those who are running for election again, is manalo na. No? Ang focus nila is to win the elections. No? So wala na sila dun sa mode na magtatrabaho pa sila sa halls of the Senate. Gaya nga sabi nga ni Senator Bato, di ba? Parang kating-kating na sila lumabas sa kampanya. They're gearing up for the campaign, right? So, I think, sa kanila, their priority now, at least majority of them, their priority now is to win in May. And then, syempre, winning in May will also be affected by the impeachment complaint before them, no? Or how they treat the impeachment complaint, no? Kasi they're trying to win votes, no? So they're trying to win votes from the admin side and also from the Duterte side. So these are, I think, from the perspective of senators, they are making political calculations that will make them win in May.
Pero in your perspective, ano mas magandang gawin ng mga senador dito, 'di ba? Itakal tong impeachment na to, total meron naman daw silang pwedeng i-waive dun sa rules nila, etc. Itakal tong impeachment na to after election, o wag muna natin tapusin yung election, itakal na natin to. Ano mas magandang move dun for them?
I don't think they have a choice kasi sabi nga ni Senator Pimentel from your news clip, for them to waive the rules or for them to waive the calendar na it has to be 100% consent.
Yeah.
So kailangan silang lahat mag-agree na sige, tabi na natin yung calendar natin, tabi natin yung rules natin. Mag-convene na tayo as an impeachment complaint during the campaign period. That has to be decided by the body unanimously, apparently, no? So, parang imposible na mangyayari yun. So, talagang no choice na sila but to handle or take cognizance of the impeachment when they return on June 2. So, ang question na ngayon is, kaya ba nila within June 2 to June 30 to hold an impeachment trial. So yun yung question
Kakayanin
pa
ba
rin.
ng ganong kabilis? Pero very quick lang, attorney, sa side naman ni VP Sara Duterte, siya yung na-impeach. Diba? Ano ba yung magandang gawin niya? Follow through course, wala naman siya magagawa dun sa impeachment. Pero may ibang mga legal experts are saying na pwede niyang gawin, meron siyang option to step down to avoid conviction and baka po pwede pa siyang makatakbo sa susunod na eleksyon.
That's certainly an option, parang to preempt the impeachment, di ba? Parang ginawa ni Richard Nixon, if I'm correct.
Yes, that's right.
Na you just resign, so hindi ka masasubject to the impeachment trial.
Sa Watergate issue ata yan, yeah.
So that's an option available to her. Of course, going up to the Supreme Court is also an option for her kasi nga, I think many lawyers or legal scholars are also seeing some constitutional issues involved here. So, kumbaga parang meron siyang cause of action na dalhin din ito sa Korte Suprema. So, yes, pwede siyang mag-resign na lang and preempt everything, but she can also fight it out in the Supreme Court before it goes to the Senate as an impeachment court.
Fight it out and trust na may boboto sa kanyang 8 senador to acquit her. Parang gano'n, di ba? Alright, sige. Go ahead, Diego.
No.
Thank you so much, Attorney Michael Yusinko, Senior Research Fellow at the Ateneo Policy Center. Thank you so much.
Maraming salamat din.
Now, in other news, with the same news, various groups staged a protest in front of Batasang Pambansa Complex to show their support for the impeachment of Vice President Sara Duterte. Mobile journalist Amy Atienza has the report.
Inendorso ng 215 miyembro ng Kamara ang impeachment kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Kaya naman ang sigaw ng ilan, convict Sara now.
Various progressive groups, including Kabataan Party List and Kadamay Group, staged a protest in front of Batasang Pambansa Complex in Quezon City. This is in line with the impeachment complaint against the Vice President approved by the House of Representatives. 215 congressmen signed the impeachment, surpassing 1/3 of its members in order to be transmitted to the Senate. Amid waiting for updates, senatorial aspirant Liza Maza said that rallies will continue.
Siyempre alam natin na this is just part 1. The part 2 is in the Senate and that is another hurdle, di ba?
Maza added that these rallies are proof that there are many Filipinos who share the same stance, most especially on political issues.
Napaka-importante yung mga pagkilos kasi hindi naman pwedeng tayo nasa social media lang. Kailangan talaga tayong lumabas. Kailangan talaga magpakita tayo ng warm bodies.
Aside from leaders, citizens of different ages also took part in the protest. One of those is Estrelleta Pagaspas, a member of the Kadamay Group who actively seeks justice and support for the poor.
Gusto naming panagutan ni Sara. Kasi kaming mga mahirap kapag kunting pagkakamali, kulong agad, di ba?
For now, the public awaits for the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte. They are also expected to stage another protest during the anniversary of the People Power Rally on February 25. Mobile journalist Amy Atienza, we are One News.
Don't go away because we're not done yet. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Brunch here on One News. The Department of Transportation said the EDSA busway is one of Metro Manila's most efficient public road transport system amid plans to remove it. In a statement, the DOTR highlighted the busway's convenience, safety, and efficiency, offering a quick travel option for commuters. The department noted that in January 2025 alone, the EDSA busway served over 5.5 million passengers with an average of 177,000 daily commuters. Transportation Secretary Jaime Bautista is awaiting the results of a feasibility study to assess potential improvements to the EDSA busway. The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority announced plans to remove the bus lane once the Metro Rail Transit Line 3 or MRT3 is upgraded.
Suggestion po kahapon ay kung maa-accommodate din ng MRT yung mga pasahero po ng bus carousel. Since repetitive siya, same line.
You know, I agree naman with that statement. Critical tong EDSA busway kasi number one, point to point, it takes you from Quezon City to Makati, 20-30 minutes, di ba? Emergency purposes, ambulance. But then again, as a driver naman of a private car, the busway causes a bottleneck in several flyovers sa EDSA. Aurora flyover, Ortigas flyover, laging may imbudo, and that causes the traffic. Diba? So, if you remove the busway, lalawak yung EDSA to accommodate more cars. Ang problema, sinasabi nila, you have to check talaga if the new MRT can accommodate that. Because the passengers on the busway are the ones na hindi makasakay sa MRT 3 because sa dami ng tao. But kung kaya naman i-accommodate sila, and they still get to their... Kasi sa MRT, point to point, mabilis din naman ang biyahe from QC to Makati.
Yun nga maraming mga commuters ang natulungan yung point to point na ano na yan yung sa busway. Kasi nga malaking yung ginhawa for them. Kaya yung iba, ayaw nila yung gagawin. Kaya nga sinasabi nila, mag-usap naman yung DOTR at saka MMDA, magkasalungat sila lagi ng sinasabi.
Pero I understand naman yung ang daming point to point. Pero ang problema, look at the video, no? It takes up a lot of space in terms of generally all other cars. You have to remember, hindi naman lahat ng cars sa EDSA private yan. May mga TNVS cars dyan, which is a form of public transport. So, EDSA cannot accommodate anymore the volume of cars per day. Kasi nawalan ka ng one lane But ang iniisip ko, paano naman kung may emergency, may ambulance?
Yes.
Malaking tulong yan
tulong.
So, will they...
Importante kasi dito, titignan mo din, of course, yung majority of the people. And majority of the people are using, of course, yung mga nagko-commute sila. So, importante, ayusin nyo muna yung public transport natin, bago kung ano-ano pa yung mga sinasabi nyo, at saka make sure na may sumusunod talaga dun sa mga batas natin. Hindi porket hindi sumusunod, baguhin na lang natin kasi walang sumusunod.
I'm not being anti-poor. I'm just giving you two sides of the discussion. You have to remember also na if the EDSA is truly congested, hindi lang po ang mayayaman na maapektuhan. Lahat. Because how many passengers lang out of all the population of Metro Manila are enjoying the busway? Meron ko a significant number, but you have to remember madami rin sasakyan sa EDSA that belong to the lower classes that have delivery of goods and So but the important thing before we move on is to strike a balance and find a way that is convenient to everyone.
Yeah.
Kasi Metro Manila's traffic is just so terrible. Sana may
Gusto daw
resolution.
nila lagyan ng toll fee yung EDSA.
Ay, wag naman po. Wag naman. Babayad kami para ma-traffic.
Diba?
Pwede ba?
Ganun na naman.
Pwede ba?
Okay. All right. In other news, new PhilHealth President and CEO Dr. Edwin Mercado likened the agency to a patient in need of treatment. In a press briefing, Mercado acknowledged the challenges of his new role but vowed to address inefficiencies in the state-run health insurer. He said that his priority is to enhance the agency's processes through digitization.
Bilang manggagamot, parang tinitingnan ko rin po ang PhilHealth na may sakit. At inaalam ko rin po ano yung lunas. So yun po yung aking unang kailangan gawin. Aralin pong mabuti kung ano po yung mga prosesong kailangan baguhin para po yung directive po ng ating presidente, mahal na presidente, na tuloy-tuloy ang serbisyo at palalawigin pa natin yung benepisyo.
Bilang Pilipino, bilang
The COMELEC is ramping up efforts to ensure secure and safe midterm elections. The poll body said they are working with the National Police on guidelines for their Oplan Katok. This is a door-to-door initiative for gun owners to renew their licenses. Meanwhile, the COMELEC admits that regulation will be a challenge as the campaign period starts next week. Chairman George Garcia explained that they have limited number of personnel. With this, he called on candidates and their supporters to report any illegal activity.
Dapat ang rule is magsasabi ng totoo ang kandidato. Kaya po yung mga magkakalaban, bantayan nyo na lang po yung kalaban nyo. Pag nagpa-hold ng rally at pagkatapos bawal talaga magpakain, bigla may nagpakain, o di dapat merong ire-report sa amin. O kaya may pinamigay na ganito, dapat may ire-report sa amin.
Yan, sabi ni Chairman George, don't worry kasi you don't need to sabihin yung identity mo, reveal it. It can be reported anonymously. Tapos sila na magve-verify.
Yes. Uy, by the way kanina earlier this morning, President Bongbong Marcos has already extended the service of PNP Chief General Marbil kasi he's about to retire na this month if I'm not mistaken. Pero in-extend ng up to 4 months yung kanyang service.
Habang naghahanap siguro ng replacement.
Yeah, tsaka kasi of course merong election, 'di ba, to ang PNP kasi to help secure the safety of the election, upcoming midterm elections. And of course, ongoing din kasi yung ginagawa ng according to DILG Secretary John Vic Remulla, yung kanilang PNP reorganization. So, well, it is expected naman talaga. It was expected na i-extend ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos yung kanyang term.
It's been done before by other presidents.
Yes. Then after that, then we will see yung mangyayari. But yun muna yung kanina pa to mga 4 hours ago. I forgot to tell you. Okay.
Teka lang, lastly ako sa sa toll fee sa EDSA. Alam mo, yung sa Singapore, para malinaw lang, no? Yung Singapore model is you pay a toll to pass through a major thoroughfare para maiwasan mo yung traffic. Or kung ayaw mo magbayad ng toll fee sa Singapore Highway, dumaan ka sa traffic. Ito, magbabayad ka para pumasok sa traffic. Alam mo, logic na. Pasensya na po.
Hindi, baka daw kasi, well, ito naman parang
saan ka dadaan?
na naman ito na only yung mga may kakayahan magbayad ang pwedeng dumaan.
Hindi, ang problema, saan ka dadaan? 80% of the connection from north to south.
Where else, diba?
Yeah, north to south and south to north is through EDSA.
Baka daw lumuwag kasi ayaw na magbayad.
So kung may choice ako, saan ako dadaan? Diba? Ayoko magbayad ng toll fee sa EDSA, saan ako dadaan? Wala na ibang choice. Ano ba naman logic yan?
Well, yun nga, yung ibang mga tao, diba, sinasabi na naghahanap na naman doon ng pagkakakitaan.
Tax. May road users tax. May tax dito, tax doon, tax everywhere. Puro tax na lang. Ay, nako.
But anyways, we'll keep you guys updated dun sa mga development na mangyayari. Of course, impeachment complaint versus or against Vice President Sara Duterte. We have yet to see yung kanyang official statement regarding this. And I'm sure yung kanyang mga abogado ay nagtatrabaho na double time to come up with a statement.
And by the way, second to the last day na po ng brunch airing here on One News. Pero don't worry, tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang talakayan. Starting Monday, February 10, we have 3 new shows. We have
Morning Matters.
Morning Matters. We have
Gretchen Ho.
With Gretchen Ho.
It starts at 8 o'clock in the morning until 9.
Money Talks.
Okay, and then followed by Money Talks at 9:30.
9 to 9:30.
9:30 to
10,
10
yes.
with Miss Cathy Yang. Of course. And of course, followed by yours truly,
News
10 to
and
11,
views.
News and Views.
So, you were fueling your mornings with One News.
Abangan niyo po
abangan niyo yan. February 10, that's a Monday. So don't worry, pag nakita niyo nag-sign off na kami tomorrow, last episode natin, tuloy pa rin tayo sa kapatid ng brunch.
Bibihisan natin ng brunch.
Lalagyan natin from a polo shirt, lagyan natin ng coat. Alright, thank you guys. And that wraps up today's episode of Brunch.
Join us again tomorrow. I'm Angela Lagunsad Castro. And he is Angelo Castro III. We're One News. All sides, all the time.